The Kayo Armory Deck is the first in a new line of exciting Flesh and Blood Classic constructed decks. Designed to be competitive at the Armory level, this deck attempts to make the most popular format in the game more accessible to new or even existing players with a strong pre-constructed product at the MSRP of $40 USD. In this video, I want to go over the contents of this product, the value and playability of the deck, as well as its attempt to make the Classic constructed format more accessible. Because unfortunately, I can't really do this review without talking about the fact that these things are in limited supply, with some stores not even able to order them, and this has caused prices online to go a little crazy, at least for the moment. The only reason I'm able to do this review is because LSS actually sent me this after I had expressed on Twitter that I was really disappointed that my LGSs couldn't even get these. And while I am very thankful to them for actually helping me be able to make this video, I do want to assure all you watching that it's not going to interfere with the review at all. I'm still going to give my honest thoughts about this product because not only do I value and respect you, the viewer, but I also want this to be a home run product, and I think there were just a few small missteps that could be improved upon in the future. And so enough of me waffling around, it's time to ask, is this product any good? Does the deck serve its purpose of getting new players into Classic constructed? Is it worth its normal price? Is it worth the grossly overinflated price? And should you pick up the Kayo Armory deck? Starting with the product contents, the Kayo Armory deck contains a 60 card Classic constructed deck with the hero, weapon, equipment, and tokens included. There is absolutely no sideboard included, which is pretty disappointing considering the $40 price tag and the fact that sideboarding is an integral part of the CC format. While the deck is mostly reprints, there are 4 brand new cards, 2 equipment, and 2 main deck cards, with 1 copy of each coming in rainbow foil. And this is actually a really nice include, honestly. Thumbs up for this decision. On top of that, every card is also in complete playsets, meaning that you'll only ever have to buy one of these decks to get all the cards. This is a huge improvement from the Classic Battles decks, which, just had a single copy of the highly desired Glistening Steel Blade. Getting playsets in this Armory deck is an absolute home run decision that I cannot applaud enough. You'll also find this QR code that takes you to a page on the official Flesh and Blood website with more information on the deck as well as a video on how to play it. Now, I have to say, for the price of $40 USD, this product feels pretty bare bones, and I would have liked to have seen more included. The first and most important thing is a sideboard, since it's an integral part of Classic constructed, and this product could have been the perfect place to teach new players how they work. I don't even think it has to be that big, maybe a playset of Reckless Swings to put in against heroes like Bravo or Azalea, and maybe some Red Fandol's Fighting Spirits to have a 7-popper against Prism. But more importantly, this product should have come with a copy of No Rune Gloves and Skullhorn for the Arcane Barrier 1 and 2. This deck is meant to be playable at an Armory right out of the box, but if they go up against a Viserai or Kano, that's going to be a pretty terrible experience for a new player with no way to block that arcane damage. Now, you could argue that a sideboard would be a little too confusing for a newer player, and hey, fair enough. That's why this product should have also included a physical quick start guide that explains what the sideboard cards are and, maybe some of the options to remove for them, as well as just how the deck plays in general. Now, don't get me wrong, the QR code include is nice, and the website and video does have a lot of information, but I truly believe this also needs to be in physical form with the product, since not everyone's going to want to watch a video to learn about the deck. Personally, when I'm playing a new out-of-the-box deck, I like to have something to actually hold and look at before and during the games, so I really hope that we get a quick start guide included in future Armory decks. Because that's it for what comes in this product. The new cards in rainbow foil includes are great, but the lack of a quick start guide, sideboard, and even something extra like an acrylic resource counter or even equipment counters is pretty disappointing considering the price tag of $40. All you get in this is just the deck. So, is just the deck worth it? Well, let's take a look. As I stated earlier, the Kayo Armory deck comes with mostly reprints and 4 brand new cards. There are plenty of great brute commons and rares like Bare Fangs and Pulping, as well as the fantastic include of Red Humbles. However, there is only one majestic reprint, Savage Beatdown, and while the card is strong and plays great in the deck, it's not really worth more than $1 or $2, meaning that the reprint value in this product is basically non-existent. There are many of those who wish that Bloodrush Bellows was included in the deck, since it's not only a very powerful card, it's also worth about $5 and would add value to this product. However, I disagree on Bloodrush Bellows, as this deck was clearly designed to always hit a 6 when discarding randomly. But that still leaves the door open to other cards that could have been included, like maybe Beast Within, which sits around $15, or even Swing Big at over $25 a copy, as both of these cards came from sets released more than 2 years ago. Now, while the monetary value of reprints in the product is very low, which isn't amazing, it's important to note that you are getting quite a few actually playable cards rather than a deck of pure junk. So if you're new to the game and don't have easy access to all the older cards, this product will give you a super solid base to build off of. And if it's the monetary value you care most about in a product like this, then you can look to the new cards. Savage Sash, Hide Tanner, Strength Rules All, and Run Roughshod are all the new additions, and boy, are they not cheap right now. Savage Sash alone is selling for more than the MSRP of the product, so even though you're not getting much with the reprints, the new includes are certainly carrying the price of this thing. Because of this, if you are getting one of these at MSRP, then you are getting your money's worth. And not only do the new cards carry the value of the deck, they carry the power of it as well. I played a total of 5 games with this deck before making this review, and in every single one of them, I was pleasantly surprised at just how well it held its own. I did lose 3 of the games, but every single one I lost was very close, and the last one I was in a winning position until, I had a few turns of bad luck and ultimately lost, which, that even happens with fully tuned decks. All in all, while the deck doesn't have the long list of Majestics that a lot of top tier KO lists run, this deck is incredibly strong for what it is and will be a perfect onboarding point for new players. I had barely played KO before this, but I found the deck very easy and smooth to play, even with the random discards. And while sure, it's not as strong as a fully tuned list, it's not supposed to be. For just being a starting point, this thing is actually really powerful, and anyone looking to upgrade can comfortably do it at a steady pace, picking things up here and there with no need to immediately buy every single Majestic and Legendary just to make the deck playable. I personally rather like this deck and how it's constructed. I do wish there was a bit more of a reprint value, but the deck is very cohesive and strong, with the new cards offering a lot of power, so I can personally overlook the lack of meaningful reprints. I also want to applaud the decision of including Humble and Wreak Havoc, with Humble being a genuine staple card and Wreak Havoc being a great budget Command and Conquer that offers some of the power but leaves a clear upgrade path. So if you can grab this thing for MSRP, then I'd say do it. If you want an easy start to Classic Constructed and are interested in KO, or you're a competitive player who needs the new cards, this product is pretty good, even though it could use some improvements. The reprint value is very low, but you're getting the convenience of not having to order the cards, pay shipping, and wait for them. But I do think $40 is a bit much for just the base deck and no sideboard. For me though, the most important aspect of this deck was its ability to hold its own at an armory, and at least in my experience, I felt that it did just fine. The deck is quite powerful and easy to play, and while I lost 3 of my 5 games, every single one was close, even against fully tuned builds. So I'd say that the power level of the Kayo Armory deck is a home run. However, that's not all there is for this product, because while MSRP is $40, unless you've got a store around you carrying these, you might have to spend more money to get one. For some reason unknown to me, LSS seems to have decided to really limit this product to such a degree that the max amount a store is able to order was a single case of 12, and other stores, like the LGSs around me, weren't able to get any at all. Armory decks are a series of ready-to-play decks supporting ease of access to Classic Constructed, the most popular Flesh and Blood format in the world. That is aligned directly from the Flesh and Blood website on the Kayo Armory Deck product page. And so I do have to ask that if this deck is meant to support the ease of access to Classic Constructed, why are stores that could use the help not getting any at all? CC precons are something that myself and many other Flesh and Blood players have been clamoring for. These truly would have been the best way to get people not just into the main format, but the game in general. But when stores that want hundreds get 12 and stores like my 2 LGSs get none at all, I can't help but wonder why. I asked people on Twitter if their store still had some in stock, and it seems like a good amount of stores do have about 4 or 5 left. And while that's a lot better than them being sold out completely, this product also only released 6 days ago, so that's not that much left over. I'm genuinely a little bit concerned that these will be impossible to find within a few more weeks. I personally was super disappointed and honestly a bit angry that I wasn't able to get this from either of my LGSs. Not only because I thought I wouldn't be able to review the product, but also because, I wanted one of these for myself and to have it on shelf at locals to help bring in new players. And while yeah, LSS sent me a deck to review, and I'm very grateful for that, them sending me a deck, it doesn't help me convince new players to join us at Armories. With all this into consideration, I'd say that the Kayo Armory deck is a decent enough pickup for MSRP, as the deck is a good base to build off of and you can only get the new cards in it. While I think this product line could use a few tweaks to be truly great, I think this is an okay start, and if I were to give it a letter grade, I think a C+ is fair. If you can get this for MSRP and you want to play Brute or just get into Classic Constructed super easily, then it's a fine pickup. It could just use a little bit more spice is all. But do not at all buy this for the online price of $60 to $70, unless you need the cards for competitive play. A basic starting product like this is not at all worth the inflated price, so try and see if there are any stores selling this online for a fair price before hopping on something like TCG Player and getting ripped off. I want to thank LSS once again for sending me this. I do think this product is a solid start, but I think it could use a few tweaks, and I also do think there needs to be more available so players, new and old alike, can find them at their personal locals and for a fair price. So thank you again to LSS, and thank you to all of you watching. I hope this review was at least somewhat helpful to you, and if you got your hands on this deck for a fair price, tell me in the comments below what you think of it. Oh, and while you're down there, help a brother out and hit that subscribe button, would you? Thank you very much. And finally, I'd like to thank my patrons for all of their support. You guys really do help me out a lot. So thanks to the Giga Chad Saint, Geeks First, Elixir, Vinny, Smokeopotamus, John, Ty, James, Chemical, Bryant, Transient Fire, Dark Memoria, and Big Hungry. Then we've got the Alpha Chads Thomas, Zajima, and Pavel. And finally, there's the Super Chads Bruno, Thal, Cece, Eric, Ben, and Yagbadoodles21. Thanks again as always, and stay Chadly, my friends.